Get me in, get the boys, get the flags. Guys and dolls, Freedom Dad here. Another demo at Hazel Bank. This is in Belfast. And as you can see, the boys are gathering. We're just here, we're early. I'm waiting for Lindsay to come. The police are down there. They've been very respectful, no problems at all with the PSNI. The guys have got a good attitude about them, absolutely no problem. We're just here to see what's going on, find out what they're saying, what's going on in their areas, see if anybody wants to talk to us, and find what's going on. Anybody want to talk, guys? Anybody want to talk? Freedom Dad's channel, a wee quick interview. Nothing hard, nothing. You'll be all right. Anybody?
Not yet.
Not yet. Anybody? Anybody want to talk? Freedom Dad's channel. You'll be all right. Yourself? 5 minutes? 2 minutes?
Let's
keep it simple.
No, man.
So this is the problem we've got. No, understand. But it's the way. That's the way they have us. We're scared to speak. We're scared to speak the truth. We're scared to speak the truth, and that's the way the government have us. Tommy Robinson's lying in prison, right, in solitary confinement. These guys have got children. They don't want to go. They don't want to go to solitary confinement. You know what I mean? This is what happens. We get silenced. These men would be silenced. They're scared to speak in camera. That's not right. We've got a freedom of speech. We've got a right to opinion, and we've got a right to criticise the government when they're failing us, when they're failing our children, and failing everything. Everything's breaking down. Mental health, NHS, our schools. You know, they're failing Christianity. They're failing Christianity by not letting us celebrate Easter anymore. You know, taking away the nativities from our schools. Let me tell you this: these guys and girls here are not going to let our activities leave our schools ever. We will always celebrate Christmas, and we will always celebrate Easter. And you see, what you got to understand, it's not people that hate people, because we've had immigration in this country for many, many years. We've had Indians, we've had the Chinese, loads of Chinese, we have students come from all over the world. Never a problem, never a problem. You know, and this is the one weapon that the government and the newspapers have, is that we're racist and we're far right. You know, that's the Red Hand of Ulster. That's our flag. We're proud of that flag. It's not racist to be proud of your flag. It's not racist to be proud of whatever flag is your country. I seen a clip today with the Scottish police standing behind the flag of Pakistan in Scotland. Were they racist? Well, them Pakistani men racist. What about all the men that come out from other countries to celebrate their religions and their cultures on our streets, waving their flags, slapping their chest, running about with swords in their hands? Well, they must be racist, surely. Well, can they only celebrate their culture? Can they only complain? Can the Sikhs only complain about the Pakistani guys, and can the Pakistani guys only complain about the Sikhs? Are they not far right as well? Of course, it's only us that's far right, because we're against the radicalised Islam that's coming into this country, the extremists that do not care about our children. They do not care about our women. They don't even care about our laws. Do you know why? Because they get arrested. They get put into prison for 5 or 6 years for raping a child. Then what happens? They get out. They get a house. Because every prisoner gets a house. Then they go on to social benefits because of their mental health. Where are the victims of them men? Where are the victims of them men today? Some of them victims are not here anymore. Quite a lot of them are in prison. Most of them are drug addicts and alcoholics. But yet these men are out in our streets benefiting of about £2,000 a month. £2,000 a month, guys, in their pocket. Then their housing benefit paid, you know. Driving about in Audis, working in barber shops, working in kebab shops, working as taxi drivers, you know. And that's all these people are concerned about. What we're seeing in mainland, how the government are silencing everybody, how the social work kept stum. Social work. The social workers are there to protect our children. Where were they? Where were they? That's what these guys are concerned. That's what they want to know. Where were the social workers when hundreds of thousands of children were being groomed and raped in England? That's what these guys want to know. That's all they want to know. Where were the police? Why were the fathers of them children arrested? That's what these guys want to know. They want to know, is that coming here? Because I'll tell you about here. I'll tell you about where these men come from, these women come from. They come from communities. Communities where families are still together. Communities where kids are still running about the streets and parents can relax because everybody's looking after it, everybody else's kids. We don't need to worry about men hanging about our parks right now. But we see it in other cities. We see it in Dublin. We see it in Southern Ireland. We see it in Donegal. We see it up and down the breadth from Scotland right down to the south of England. So think about this. Think about this, because this is what we're seeing. This is facts. This is life. This is Britain today. This is Ireland today. Children, women holding their children. Men are coming up to try and take their children. This is if it's just a normal thing to do. No fear, no care. Just, I want your child. Women being followed by men. They're doing TikToks about it. You know, it's all over the internet. But it's only if you know where to look. Because the government, as you can see with Tommy Robinson, for the last 15 years, they know how to silence you. I expect to be silenced as well. I've got an article coming out on Sunday, a hit piece on me by the Irish Mail on Sunday, right? So what? You know what I mean? We expect this. This is what happens with us patriots, you know what I mean? This is what happens. This is the start date for me. God knows what else is to come. But you know what? No matter what happens to me, whether they put me in prison or they silence me, all these men will take my place. And not just all these men. All these men in every protest that you see in Belfast and in Ireland, because they know Freedom Dad's right. They know Freedom Dad is a victim of childhood abuse. They know Freedom Dad was in children's home and seen what these government officials and judges and lawyers were doing to our children in the 70s. They got away with it. So they did. We know who they are. They're still there. They're in the House of Lords. They're being protected. We know that. You look what happened to Jimmy Savile. Everybody knew about Jimmy Savile. We used to sing the names of the pedos in the government at our football matches and still nothing happened. But MI5 know all about it. MI5 know every single name. So everybody knows Freedom Dad and what Freedom Dad's been through and why Freedom Dad has travelled to here today to cover this protest for these guys. Everybody knows that Freedom Dad can see that as children homes kids again, the most deprived children in our communities are victims of grooming gangs once again in 2025, going back 15 years. And we're far right. We're racist for being shocked about that. Are you off your nut, guys? And this is not you, my community, or all you guys. This is for the government. You guys that are watching me very closely right now, are you off your nut? Do you think us Ulster men and women and us Irish men and women are going to stand silently while you bring men into this country that are doing things that are happening in England? You're getting away with it so far in Ireland, but that's not going to last, because you seen what happened on Saturday. The Irish men came out in force, and that's just the start of it, because you're silencing everybody. The poor wee public don't know, because they're still watching Sky News, BBC News, reading The Guardian and reading the Irish Mail on Sunday. But like I told that reporter today, your days are numbered. All you reporters, all you mainstream media, your days are numbered. We are the new media, we are the citizen journalists, because we're bringing the truth to the people of Northern Ireland and Ireland. Let's have a wee look about. I've got Lindsay with me. Hello, Lindsay.
Hello.
Great.
Good to see you.
Give us a hug.
Good to see you.
Good,
Seen you around the bunnies today. It looked
yes,
brilliant.
I know it does.
They're building a cracker here.
Okay, I will have you. So, how's things?
Good. Thanks. Everything's good with me.
So, is this your home neck of the woods or what?
Yeah, this is me. So many days spent as a child down in the beach there. There's a rock actually called Paddy's Rock.
Right.
And when the sea's in, we used to all swim out to the sea.
Yeah.
Do you know? And it's childhood memories like that I want to make sure that we still have for the up and coming kids.
Yeah.
But unfortunately now, there's certain times here where this will be full of Muslims.
Right.
So, well, our park will be full of Muslims, and our own community feels uncomfortable.
So why did the community feel uncomfortable? Why is this the Muslims that are going down to the beach? Why? It's all Muslims. Is there Sikhs or anything? Do you know? Or?
I'm not 100% sure, but I can tell you, when we think about the women in these Muslims communities, they have to cover their faces and wear their burqas and all the rest of it. And I've heard a lot of the Muslim women themselves saying that the reason why they do that is because they don't want the men coming on to them, or they're protecting themselves. So to us that shows us, well, these men can't control themselves.
Well, that's a fact. We know that. That's a fact.
So when we want to run about, maybe the kids want to run about in their their shorts and t-shirts, why can we not do that and feel comfortable in our own places? We're starting to feel intimidated by these men, because if the Muslim women have to cover up, then that obviously says that the women that were born here are in danger also.
Right. So basically, these men are down in the beach, and women are feeling intimidated, and it's not a racist thing. There must be something else going on. What is actually going on that's making women afraid right now?
For me, it's very much the extreme Muslim ideology,
right.
And that I truly believe that our country has been invaded.
Is it because of what we're seeing in England? Is that in Dublin?
100% it is. Like, we are a wee small island here, and we've only got the north part of that. Yeah. And we have a great wee country, and we've had enough troubles over the days, and we've all seen and been there, and we just want a better future for the kids. And when I look to see what's happening in England, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah. Well, we come from a nice community. Quite a lot of our Protestant communities are really nice. So, tell me about your community. Tell the people that are watching, especially the people in England that don't have community anymore and families not stuck together. Tell them what it's like for us in our areas still today, with our children and our families being together.
Well, do you know what I absolutely love so much about our communities is that you'll walk around our communities. Like, I walked down here tonight. I must have said hello to about 10 people, and I maybe only recognised half of those people. We're just so friendly. Yeah. You cannot. I wouldn't go to my local shop and not stand and talk to people, and somebody else join in the conversation. It's that sense of community, of everybody knowing each other. Yeah. Where when I find that we're in the communities of people that aren't, haven't lived here for a long time, they haven't got the same sense of community as us. They put their head down, or they blank you, or they don't want to acknowledge you. And a smile's contagious, Yeah. So to me, if everybody's running about smiling at each other, that lifts everybody's energy, it lifts everybody's vibration, makes them feel happy, makes them feel part of something. And unfortunately, the more people that we let in with a different culture, the less that we're all going to feel that sense of community.
Some people would say, if you've got some minorities from different cultures in your area and they're walking about with their heads down, some people might say they might be feeling intimidated or scared. What would you say to that?
Come on. Come on. I'm 4'8.5". If you feel intimidated by me walking past you, then that's not a me problem, that's a you problem. We have been very, very welcoming to people in this community. This is what we look back on. I remember as a teenager, we would have went out and got our carry out, and had a few drinks, and we would have called off to the Chinese takeaway on the way home for a gravy sausage and a couple of chips. We've never had a problem with other ethnicities. I worked down in one of the local Indian restaurants, actually, and those guys, we used to work, and at the end of the shift at night, we all used to go raving together. Do you know what I mean? These boys love their own rave, right?
Yeah.
We went at 12 o'clock at night and it was on to 7 in the morning. So it's not about that. It's about the ideology that's extremism of Islam that is the biggest concern, nothing else.
Yeah, and were you, is this what you're, tell people where you're seeing this and what's making you feel, I guess, all the things that why are these men are here for the exact same reason that you're here, right? I'm here for the exact same reason that you're here. I'm a citizen journalist, but I'm also a patriot, So tell us exactly, what's going on, why, what's going, just tell us everything what's going on, why they're all here, where are they getting this information from? Is it misinformation? Is it fake news? What's happening?
No, it's literally facts that they're seeing on social media. Right. I mean, I can't speak for the guys here, but I don't watch mainstream media. We had a couple of the guys actually came and asked to interview us on Sunday there from the mainstream media. We're not interested because that's where the misinformation comes from, as far as I'm concerned. Right. They're all getting paid. They had the absolute cheek to tell me that they were on a time constraint on Sunday and that I better hurry up, and they were told no, because they're getting paid. We're doing this out of because we're passionate about our communities. I would imagine a lot of these men are here today because they're concerned about their daughters.
Right. Another thing I've got to address, this is a predominantly Protestant area and there is no Catholics here, I don't think. Why is that?
I guess because you are in a predominantly Protestant area. Now, having said that, there is more integration happening within the communities. You know, you've got Rush Park, which is just across there, and it definitely has Catholics within that community.
So would the Catholics be welcome to stand amongst these guys with tricolours and all the rest?
Oh my goodness, I'll give you a bit of crack actually. So I do live in a Protestant area, and but I actually compete for Ireland.
Right.
So I actually have my green, white and gold bag when I go to compete for Ireland because I'm competing there. So I come in and out of Rathcoole Estate with my green, white and gold bag. It's not about that for us anymore.
Yeah.
It's not about that at all. There's a bigger danger now affecting our country.
Right. So we also know that the dissidents, the remaining Republicans, I'm not going to call them IRA because I think the IRA is gone. I think, you know, they really have. But these new guys, younger guys, we call them dissidents, you know what I mean? And we are hearing stories that they're not letting their community come out with us. What do you say about that?
I've heard the same, I'll tell you that, and I've heard it through really reliable sources. So my opinion and what I believe is that they are getting paid. They're in cahoots, I would imagine, with Sinn Féin. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. It's my
You're allowed to say it's your opinion. It's freedom of dad's it's freedom of speech.
And I would say that there's maybe money being handed over and they're protecting their own interests that way. But I have to say they are losing some of their community, and I think they'll continue to lose their community if they keep it up.
Yeah. So what's your message to normal Catholics who are sick of the conflict, sick of the division, and want to come together as patriots on a common cause of keeping our country safe and free from anybody abusing our children?
More than welcome. In fact, we would absolutely, thoroughly love to have them. Genuinely love to have them. I have so many Catholic and Protestant friends. You know, back in '98, whenever we had the Good Friday Agreement, that's whenever I was starting into working. So I started working in Belfast. I started working in office jobs, and that's when I started to mix a bit more with the Catholic religion. And I had I still do, have really, really good friends. And you know, none that I ever remember ever had a problem with me, or vice versa.
Well, I met my first Catholic when I was 18 years old, believe it or not. Obviously, we've seen each other across the road throwing bricks and bottles at each other in the 80s, you know what I mean? But the thing is, you know, what do you think would happen if a couple of Catholics watching this live locally would have thrown a couple of tricolours and walk down that road in here? What do you think these guys would do?
What about you lads? How you doing? Come on down.
So you go. You would probably get a round of applause.
Yeah.
We've come a long way, eh?
Oh, we have. And look, this country's beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. You know, and we need the money spent on, you know, our these guys, their kids can't get into the same schools as their brothers and sisters because they're full. They're teaching Islam within our schools. Nobody's asked for that. You know, they're trying to get, this is one that's really grating on me at the minute actually. They're trying to get our old age pensioners to downsize their houses, maybe because they've 2 bedrooms. Well, do you know what that would do to a 70 or 80-year-old person having to move?
From somewhere she's lived all her life, I know that. But we know that they normally don't last very long once you move or anything changes with really old people. That's what the common thread, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Listen, I'm not going to keep you much time. I know you want to mingle and get to know and get information of because that's what we do. We're networking. We find out what's going on in local areas, find out what's going on. Before I go, I've got one. I need to ask you this. There's been a pipe bomb incident around this area. What do you think that is? Do you think there's a lot of people saying it's a very strange situation, and as you know, I've got the Irish News on Sunday going to be doing a piece on me, and you know, we are bringing Protestants and Catholics together, and in Londonderry/Derry we have youths coming out from dissident areas ordered by the dissidents to start throwing stuff at our murals under the guise of other people, like stories of kids being beat up. That just doesn't sound too right. It all sounds very deep state to me. What do you think about that?
Yeah, do you know, I find that some of the younger generations are very hateful, and they weren't even even born whenever the Troubles was going on.
Exactly. So it needs to be sanctioned. These kids will not go out on the street. Our communities have community leaders. I'm not going to say paramilitaries, but we have community leaders, just like in the Catholic areas. And we control our areas with love and respect, and we deal with our young kids. Anyone's are stepping out of line, we take them just like Prevent do in England. We prevent quite a lot of stuff, and we get it when it's early. So there's no excuse when these kids are coming out and throwing paint bombs at murals and antagonising the Protestant community. This is sanctioned. This is ordered from the dissidents. Do you agree?
I totally agree, because these kids couldn't have learned it from anywhere else. They weren't alive whenever the Troubles were on. So, kids have to soak in something from somewhere. So it has to be at home or somewhere like that they're being taught this. They're not going out. And, the problem is, as well, is that the kids maybe don't have anything else better to do. Well, maybe if our money wasn't being spent in illegal immigration, maybe more money could be funded into these kids to tell them how worthy they are, to give them hobbies to do, to find their strengths and really push them into being their best versions rather than out in the street running riot.
One last question. So yes, the Irish Mail on Sunday are doing a hit piece on me this Sunday, and are you worried?
I'm more worried about them doing one of me eventually. No, honey, joking. Yes, I am, because I don't trust them. And that's the only reason why. I'm very much meet somebody, see how they make you feel. I have always, and I look around at all these lads here. These lads have looked after me all my life. Since I was a wee tote, these lads have been looking after me throughout all the bars, through all my life. These lads have been looking after me, and I know you'll have done the exact same for your people that you'll have known. And I would trust every single one of these people 10 times more than some middle class person that's been to university and thinks they're a journalist now, when they're actually being paid and told what to say.
Right, I'll get another chat with you. I'm going to do a wee piece of camera. You go and mingle and do your networking.
Thank you.
Speak to you soon. So, there's our Lindsay. Absolutely amazing. It's bigger than life, you know what I mean? And but yeah, this is what it's about, guys. It's like, and I'm not going to keep going on about the rhetoric of the far right. I'm sick of that. We're getting bored of all that. I want to talk more about what's going on in the areas, the Catholic areas, where they're keeping their people back from these demos, because it is inclusive to Catholics. We do want to come together at these demos. So much can come from that. Just getting to know each other. We don't have to stand together. You can stand over your tricolours. We'll stand over here with our red-handed Ulsters, and we can just go to our own separate places. Yes, it's a big step. It's mental. I know people that don't live in Northern Ireland don't understand this. This is massive. Asking Protestants and Catholics to come out and stand together. It's absolutely massive. But it's happening. It's happening in Belfast. It's happening in Dublin. And as you see, they aren't happy. They aren't happy with a Protestant, an ex-loyalist prisoner, going down to Dublin and standing amongst all those Irishmen and feeling safe. The papers aren't happy, the government are happy, and the deep state aren't happy. Do you know why they're not happy? Because we're coming together. You've all got to watch very carefully of what's going on here, guys. This is Northern Ireland. The place has been bombed for years. Conflict, kids getting killed. There's been hundreds and hundreds and thousands of civilians and security services, bombs and kneecappings. It's been horrific, absolutely horrific. And every single political leader and prime minister done everything to try and stop the conflict. So we thought. Now we're stopping the conflict. Now we're coming together. Now we're breaking down the barriers and the peace walls. And what's happening? We're getting flack from the papers. We're getting flack from the government. We're all far-right racists. You're not going to get a long way with that for very long. And we're going to be a stepping stone for every other country in Great Britain. We're going to show you exactly what you need to do. We're going to lead the way and showing you how to protect your children and how to protect your women, And let me tell you something else. We talk about Christians coming together. When we talk about Christians coming together, it's because we're Protestants and Catholics and we've been fighting for so long. It's not about, it's just us Christians. There's Sikhs, there's Jewish people, there's Muslims. We've got no problem with religion. We have a problem with the extremism of Islam coming into our country and not being held accountable by the government, being protected by the government, being put up on a pedestal, putting decorations up for Ramadan. Let's go. Putting decorations up for Ramadan. The only country in the world to put decorations up for Ramadan. And you wonder why these guys are worried. Let's go and see what we're going to do. There's more stuff down here I want to show you. Give you a wee break. Yeah. Lucky trip. So here we are, guys. Quite sure you can see that. I'm just going to zoom it in. What was that on for? Sorry about that, guys. So anyway, what I'm saying is, like, you know, the guys don't want to be seen on thing. This is live. You know what I mean? It'd be different if it wasn't live. If I was recording it, it would be a different story. Totally understandable. You know what I mean? This is the world we live in. Like I say, guys, you know, it's difficult doing these things, but you know, fair play to them. They're making a stand, and that's the main thing. That's all that matters. But I will sort of get it round for you. I'm just going to find my camera. Let's see if
it was only about 30 people.
I'm from Trinidad. Give a fuck.
She wasn't very nice. Oh, she wasn't very nice, was she? So we got the guys here. So we do. We got these guys here. I'm not going to keep camera on them for too long. I'm going to turn it around, guys. I do not want to get these guys on camera if they don't want to get on camera. I wouldn't like it myself. So I'll just sit and chat to you. You'll see stuff coming behind me. That's the best I can do. I'm just going to walk up. So I don't think there's any speakers or anything like that here. It's just guys coming out and protesting. That's all it is, you know. So we're just going to keep covering it. So we are. All right, buddy. How you doing? So yeah, good turnout. Good turnout. We've got some good numbers as usual. I'm going to try and find my other glasses and see if I can. Do you want to have a wee piece in common, mate? Come on, you're probably the best one. Everybody else is fucking too scared. You know what I mean?
I'm not the Star Trek that if I start to get nervous I'm going to swear, but
that's okay. You can swear. That's okay. You know what I mean? I'll turn you around.
To be honest,
Hey, don't ask you. Why are you here?
Can we cut, please? I'm sorry.
You want to do it?
I actually don't really know why we're here at the minute. It's just I know there's a protest for, but I'm not specific. But I know it's for protection.
Yeah, yeah, for the kids. Yeah. No problem. So but I'm going to speak to Lindsay. We'll get it organised better the next time. You know what I mean? It was pretty quick. You know what I mean? But no, I understand. It's difficult. You know what I mean? But what is it? I've seen you at a couple of demos. What is it you do? Like, why do you go? Why do you travel to the demos?
I just don't want the country to be Islamified or to be taken over with globalism. Just look at England.
Yeah. So it's basically the common thing is England, innit? What's going on in England, innit? And what we're seeing and what they've done to Tommy Robinson. Tell me about Tommy Robinson. What do you think about Tommy Robinson? Why they've done it and why they're still doing it to him?
Because he's exposing the corruption and just everything that's going on. They're scared of that, so they are, because they fear the working class people.
Yeah.
So they do. Once everyone will know the truth, and this government that has allowed this to happen, and previous governments.
Yeah, like unforgivable. And this is what he's saying. He's saying, you know, one day, like what's happening, what this government are doing to the people, it's in the past and it stays in the past and it doesn't move. You see, it's solid. They can't mess about with it. So as we go forward, we're going to know exactly who's done what to who, and why Tommy Robinson truly is in jail, and why he's in solitary confinement for a civil offence. We're going to find out who was involved in putting him behind prison, who was in charge. You know, what kind of people do they have in the government that are doing this? The people like Tommy Robinson. He's only trying to protect us. That's who Tommy Robinson was trying to protect. These guys. These guys here, that's who Tommy was trying to protect. He was trying to warn us. Look, this is what's happening in Luton. This is what's happening in my town. And the government like, we need to shut this guy up quick. He's going to tell everybody what we're doing. You understand? That's what people see. That's the facts. That's what's really going on, guys. So, they say, do you want to be my cameraman?
I'm not the best, I'll give it
Just
a go.
keep it still, mate. That's all you got to do. Right, just keep it on me, okay? So, they say, get the guys in. Get the guys up there so they can see things. So they say, they talk about, we hear the rumours of replacement, right? Just don't say replacement. You know, you don't say replacement. Okay, fair enough. So, tell me this. Where did the English guys go? Where did the British nationalists go? In Luton? Where did the English guys and the English women and the British nationalists go in Leicester? Bradford? Birmingham? Where have they all gone? Who's there now? Who's in them cities now? So what do you call that? When you take one group and they move or whatever happens, I don't know what happened, and then another group comes in. You know, if I take the salt away and put the pepper there, am I not replacing the salt with the pepper? I don't know, maybe I'm picking it up wrong. But, you know, this is the kind of thing that everybody's talking about on the street, you know? The things that we're not allowed to say online. Everybody's talking on the street. But why are we not allowed to say it online? Why is everybody talking about a topic, but yet the government don't want to mention it? Some serious questions need to be asked, okay? And but I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Labour Party. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Tories. I really want to say a special thank you for Starmer and the front bench of the Labour Party. A genuine Starmer, thank you so much. Because if you hadn't went so hard with what you've done since you got in the power and done what you've done to Tommy Robinson, these guys wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have been in Dublin amongst 50,000 Irishmen, a loyalist prisoner, a unionist, a Protestant from Belfast. We wouldn't be having demos in Belfast. We wouldn't have a Northern Ireland that was awake. We wouldn't have a Northern Ireland that's coming together, Mr. Starmer. So thank you so much. Thank you from me and my community, both the Catholics and the Protestants. We want to thank you all, the uni parties of London. Thank you, Mr. Khan. Thank you, the Justice Minister. Thank you so much, because you've let us know exactly what's coming. You've let us know exactly what your plans are for our Great Britain. But let me tell you something. Great Britain isn't going to be Great Britain for long, because I can tell you now, I've been saying this for the last 6 months, Scotland will be independent very, very soon. Northern Ireland and Ireland will come together in some way where we still keep our 6 counties, but we will have one government between us, and we will get rid of everybody and anybody that does not agree with us. The people who live in the country, the people who pay your wages, the people who put you in power. We're not going to have men like you in our country failing us, because we've already seen what you've done. We've seen the lies that you've told your people, Mr. Stormer, before you got in. You wouldn't touch the old people, you wouldn't touch the benefits, you wouldn't touch the farmers. I could go on and on. You lied to your people to get in the power. You lied to the people so you could get in the power. That's never going to happen over here, so thank you for pointing that one out as well. I also want to say a wee thank you to Nigel Farage, because Nigel Farage has showed us how we could be fooled into trusting the wrong politicians. How we could be like so desperate. We're not desperate, you know, but if we let this go on, we could be in a situation, our kids would be desperate, let's put it like that. And you've showed us that we could be in a position where we could be so desperate and we could just vote for the wrong party, like the British and the English are voting for the wrong party by voting for Reform. Reform have pulled the wool over all your eyes. Reform have told you lies. They pretended to be right wing. They've told you we were going to deport, and then all of a sudden, everybody's getting kicked out. We're now a centrist party, and you know what's coming. Nigel Farage will be the next Prime Minister of Great Britain for maybe 2-3 months, and then Mohammed Yusuf will take over. And everything, even though Nigel Farage has told you, he's told he's going to deport the moment he gets power. That means all the men that's raped and groomed, all the children, the hundreds of thousands of children in Great Britain and England and Scotland are always going to be there doing what they came to do. You know, we know our system, the prison system, doesn't rehabilitate prisoners. It's not there for rehabilitation. It's there to hold people and protect the public, so they say. But these men are back on the street. The men involved in the grooming gangs are now back on the street of England. And I always keep asking this same question. Where are the girls and the boys that were victims of these grooming gangs today? What help did they get? Has anybody paid any attention to where these girls are now? So thank you, British government, everyone is, for showing us exactly what we need to do and who not to put in power. Because in Northern Ireland, this is going to be the first country, between us and Ireland, is going to be the first country that we are not going to have any millionaires, we're not going to have any private schoolboys, and we're not going to have any snobs, because you have failed every single person in your country for the last 100 years. We need working class men, working class women, who, the real men and women of our countries, all your countries, to be in power. Men like Tommy Robinson, men like Ben Habib, men like Paul Thorpe, men like Richard Inman, real men that know what it was like on the streets, what's going on in the streets, what people are saying, and what people want from their politicians. The politicians today do not represent the people of the street. They represent money and world leaders. They're controlled by Gates and they're controlled by BlackRock. When Labour got in the power, they were one of the first 2 people that were invited. No presidents from America or Canada or anywhere else. You know, the richest men in the world get in first, guys. You know what I mean? So that's, just watch and learn. Watch Northern Ireland. Watch Ireland. You know, there's big changes coming in Northern Ireland, and it's all thanks to the Labour Party, the Tories, and your new fake right-wing centrist political party Reform. That's how we span about, mate. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, mate. Lindsay.
I was thinking you'd get a job there, did you?
I was going to say, just thank you for letting me do that.
No problem, man. Anytime, aye. If I was going to say, do it again. Right, so what's happening? Is there any speakers?
Tonight?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, Lindsay, will you say something? But where do I even start? Like, I don't even know where to start
because
saying something.
this is a problem. You know, it's going to change, isn't it? Isn't it going to?
Yes, I mean, this was really, really last minute put together, to be quite honest with you. This was only put together, as far as I'm aware, a couple of days ago. I got a message about it. So, I mean, for them to bring out this type of numbers within a couple of days is absolutely fantastic, you know, and it's really nice to see. It's really nice to see the young lads here, you know, because you've got a crowd of young lads here and they're already thinking about their futures and, you know, wanting to protect the women and the young girls of their community.
You stand up, right? You stand up, right?
Is that better now? Were you trying to go like that?
Citizen journalists, you won't get this in Sky News, guys. You won't get this in the BBC. This is raw. This is the real deal from the working class areas. But listen, Lindsay, when do you expect we're going to have hundreds of thousands of patriots in the city of Belfast?
I think soon. You know, things have a way of getting a bit of a momentum going.
Yeah.
You know, people see for the first few weeks and they're not sure, is it happening, will they come down? And also they're like, you know, you have the far left, if I want to call them, putting out TikToks on social media saying, oh, it's going to be dangerous, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. But anytime everybody comes down, they always have a good day. Like when I get home from our events, I have messages going, great crack today, Lindsay, that was great, you spoke well, you know, it was really nice to see this one. So I think we'll get the momentum going here. I mean, Orla and I done those last couple, and then now, you know, you've got these guys doing this one, you'll have other ones doing it in different communities, and you know, we'll all come together. So I reckon it's going to be like a snowball. Yeah, well, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Well, every demo I go to, apart from the Irish one, they always sing, there's many, many more of us than you. Right, this is a counter demo. Do you think the government are going to be able to afford to bring in the numbers, the counter demo, when we do have the hundreds of thousands of people on the streets?
No, I mean, Dublin is a great example of that. So it is, you know, there we far left was coordinated off, you know, and do you know, funny, and I'm going off a bit topic here, but I just have to mention it. I was just watching some of the footage from Dublin, and I seen a couple of these wee elderly women with their grey hair. Now I know I had grey hair, but you know, and these far left were behind, and you want to see these young men and young women shouting obscenities to these two elderly women because they were marching for their country. Yeah. Like, I just like, where they're the side that talk about human rights this and human rights this, but yet you can stand and shout at an old woman on the street.
Yeah.
So yes, look, there's better. I'm all into me energy and high vibes and all the rest of it, and I can tell you now, the feeling around ours is sense of community, it's love, it's educating each other. Theirs is just running the same thing over and over and over again. Who wants to continue going to that, for goodness sakes?
And how long do you think the trade unionists and the council that work for the government are going to keep funding these people and paying for the placards and paying for the buses to bring them to our counter demos? How long do you think the government are really going to keep doing that? Can they afford it? Because they're paying all this money going on irregular immigration. Must be costing them a fortune.
Well, it must be costing the government and the taxpayer a fortune. But, you know, these politicians and these unions, they have to be getting paid money from somewhere.
Yeah, well, I could always help them out. I could always go back to robbing banks.
Yeah, see, you always have the crack with us.
I always have the crack. Well, it's the Irish people. They're doing me a hard time, phoning me up non-stop. What about this? What about that? Okay, now, man, give me a break. I was an orphan. Man. You know what I mean? I was brought up in Belfast. We were getting bombed every day. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, funny you should mention that, actually, because they talk about they want to bring these illegal immigrants in and how, because they're fleeing war and all the rest of it. Well, what about actually helping Northern Ireland deal with the trauma that we had for flipping how many years?
Oh, hold on. Hold on. I'll be honest, right? So for a broken childhood, for a guy who was abused and both children, so my mum died, didn't have any other family, and then just ended up in the street. I could go on and on about what the damage they'd done to me as a child. Do you know what that was worth to them? How much they paid me for that? £40,000. £40,000 I got for that. That was what the government paid me for compensation for a broken childhood. you know. So, and then you look at the money that these guys are getting that are coming straight off the boats, free housing, mobile phones, and within a month they're getting benefits,
Yeah.
you know. And but how many years would they need to be here before they've got that £40,000? And they broke the law coming in. Mike, I never broke the law. I never broke the law in my life. I was put into a criminal place because they couldn't handle me in the home. Because I was a young boy, had lost his mum, and was wild, you know what I mean? Of course I was going to be a wee bit out there, you know what I mean? But there was no care, nobody cared, you know. This is the thing. Nobody cared about our kids. Still today, 2025, nobody cares about our kids still.
Yep.
But we seem to care an awful lot about these men that are breaking into our countries.
Yeah, and do you know, that's just such an amazing point, and something that I'm very, very passionate about.
Yeah.
Because whenever I look back at our education system whenever I was younger, you know, I was made to believe that because I wasn't university smart, book smart, that I wasn't good enough. And that was a big effect in my life. It made me go down the route of drugs for 20 years because I just didn't think I was worth achieving anything else. So they done that to us as kids, coming from the middle class to these working classes aren't good enough. But now what they're telling our working class kids is not only are they not smart enough or they're not good enough to go to university, but they also have to go even below that because the you know, illegal immigrants have to be above them.
Yeah.
So how are these kids supposed to rise and shine when they're being told daily that they're at the bottom of the pack?
Could you bring these guys up so I could say a few words before I go? There's a couple of things I would like to say just before I go that needs to be said. Just the way people aren't interacting and there's nobody's filming.
Do you want to do some sort of talk?
Just I want to address one thing, and then because I can't hang about for long, but I think it's important. So if you can
Just
sort of
try
get them,
and get
I'm going to
people to
stand
speak.
here. I'm just me. I'm just going to say a few words. If you can get these guys up here,
Alright, we need to make sure get a shout.
I will do, mate. Guys, you aren't on camera. You aren't on camera. I'm going to be saying a few words up at that triangle. If you could come up there, I've no microphone or nothing. So, could you just move up a wee bit, guys? So I'm going to say a few words here.
Guys, we're going to say a few words if you want to listen in.
You want to film me?
Sorry.
No, just keep that in front of me.
Excuse me, everybody!
Yes.
Listen! Only just bend your
Right, everybody. Absolutely amazing turnout. Absolutely fantastic. You should be very, very proud of yourselves. There's not many people who've got the balls to do this. What I want to tell you is this. You need to get online. You need to start filming. You need to start doing YouTubes. You need to start doing TikToks. You need to start talking about the grooming gangs that's over there. You need to start saying that you just don't want them coming here. You are allowed to criticise the government. You're allowed an opinion. Don't be shy. This is the only weapon we have. The government have been selling us for the last 15 years. Tommy Robinson is lying in jail in solitary confinement. That's their weapon. What's our weapon? We get louder. We have got to get louder. We've got to get online. We've got to share the word. We've got to let people know that there's men coming to this country and they've got no good intentions. No good intentions. And when they come here and they rape our children, the government are going to cover it up. The government are going to cover it up. The social work movement. I hope our PNS and I are a wee bit different than the Metropolitan Police. My experience so far, they have been good. They have been good. Work well with the police guys. The PNSI is the only people that we've got. They're not hitting us with buttons. They're not coming at us with shields yet. So let's not provoke it. Also, we're being provoked by the dissidents, right? Because the Catholics are coming to us because they're sick of the dissidents. They're sick of the support that they've got for the PLO and Hamas because of fucking 1980. We've got to pay attention to this. This is a thing that we've never seen in our history, right? We can bring the dissidents down with the help of the Catholic community because they're the only people that are still causing problems for us. We can move forward and we can be successful. We can look after ourselves. We don't need anybody else to look after us. We're Ulster men and we're Ulster women and we will always be proud of that. We will never give up the 6 counties, but we will work with the Irish to stop the Islamification in this country. I'm Freedom Dad and well done. I'm so fucking proud of you. Do you want to say a few words? No?
No, you're
Okay.
all right.
Right, I'm gone, guys. See you later. Cheers, guys. Cheers, get out of here quick. Can you turn it off? It's turned off, no? Right, guys, I have to get out of here quick. Can't mess about in Northern Ireland. Not when you're on a live, so I know you understand that. So we're out of here. God bless every single one of you.